Ladies and gentlemen, this is OneWrestling.com. I am the Mark of the Masters, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA Impact Wrestling today. TNA Impact 2/16/2017. I am coming to you here from the offices of OneWrestling.com, the home of the legendary Bill Apter. Well, actually, these are New York offices. Bill doesn't really show up here too much. It's a lot of driving for him to do, but I mean, this guy's all over the place. Listen, guys, we have a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to be giving you these reports, unfortunately, not only from the office, but I'm going to give them to you kind of late on a Thursday basis, depending on where you live, where you are. It'll be up around 2 o'clock in the morning, so you can check it out the next morning, or depending, yeah, maybe you live in the UK, maybe you live in California, you get it at, I think, around midnight or something like that. But anyway, listen, here's the deal, guys. We have WrestleMania around the corner, WWE SmackDown Live, we have WWE Raw, we have TNA, which has been really, really hot over the last couple of months. And guess what, guys? The 15th anniversary of Ring of Honor, ROH, is right around the corner. And we may have some very, very special things coming up. So please look out for that, guys. But listen, we are not talking about ROH. We are not talking about WWE. We are talking about TNA Impact Wrestling. And let's jump right into this week. We start off the show with a couple of recaps regarding the Hardys landing in Mexico, looking for the tag team champions of Mexico. And the absolute betrayal, Davey Richards betraying his brother, Eddie Edwards, and that ended really bad. And tonight didn't get any better. And we're going to get into that a little later on. But listen, guys, we're going to jump right into this. We start the night off with a mixed tag team match to create the Decay, Crazy Steve and Rosemary versus, Crazy Steve and Rosemary with Abyss versus Moose and Brandy Rhodes. Listen, guys. Moose comes out looking like a big Spider-Man. I don't know what the hell he was wearing. I don't know why he was wearing that outfit. It was what it was. Long sleeve gimmick. It always looked funny to me when MVP was wearing it and Moose did it. And I don't know if they're kind of going that NFL gimmick, but just drop it. It didn't look too cool. But anyway, listen, Steve controlled a lot of the match. Rosemary using her psychological warfare, going so on and so forth. You know, I mean, Moose rolls through for what I thought was going to be kind of a roll of pin during this match, but he actually ends up picking Crazy Steve up with one arm and throwing him over the top rope with one arm onto his tag team partner outside. Well, not officially his tag team partner, but one of his tag team partners in Abyss. That was some craziness. Now, listen, finally, Brandy Rhodes gets into the match. She looked better than she did the last previous weeks. Anyway, listen, it was what it was. They did the whole Moose, boom, Moose, boom, Moose, boom, and Brandy Rhodes threw one of the weakest clotheslines. I think she hit her with her wrist or something like that. It was really bad. But anyway, Moose actually hits his spinning clothesline. I forgot exactly what it's the Playmaker. What is it called? I can't remember it. But Moose hits his finisher for the 1-2-3. Moose and Brandy Rhodes go over Crazy Steve and Rosemary. And I have a big feeling that next week maybe they might face Abyss and Crazy Steve, or Abyss and maybe Rosemary. Or listen, the Decay is not going to give up. Has absolutely no idea what the hell she got herself into. Anyway, we're going to move on. We have the bachelor party. It's not what you think. It's actually horrible. Braxton Sutter and the Miracle Mike Bennett and a cast of losers. We move on to DCC, cut a promo how they are the big men on campus, and they call out EC3 and Jesse Goddess. Now, we go to the Hardys, and they're in Mexico. They're in Tijuana, Mexico, or Tijuana, Mexico, and they are looking to delete Meek Mahan. Listen, this is what they're doing. They're in Mexico, and they're looking for the tag team champions of Mexico, and they're going to this promotion. I believe it's AAA. They didn't really show exactly where they were. It looks like AAA to me. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, listen, guys. They go in. They're bantering with the crowd, so on and so forth. And finally, they meet up with this one guy that I guess that can show them where the boss is to this, wherever they're wrestling in Tijuana, Mexico. It's AAA. Anyway, we also have a bachelorette party, guys, going on. Yeah, and again, not what you think. Maria is absolutely not happy with Allie's decorations, and of course, Maria then acts like an absolute jerk, and then she rubs in Allie's face that Braxton Sutter is going to, be getting married to Laurel Van Ness. Now, listen, guys, I had an interview with Laurel Van Ness over at WrestleZone.com on the Impact Rebellion, along with my co-host, Yalla Bin Hameen. That was some pretty cool stuff. She got a little hotter than the collar when I asked her, you know, what if Braxton started to get some cold feet? I mean, anyway, it is what it is. We jump into another match of the evening. We have the DCC's Eddie Kingston versus Jesse Goddess. Yes, they did call out Jesse Goddess. And listen, man, it looks like Jesse Goddess is actually finally getting a spot. Been some time. Jesse Goddess is looking good. I mean, the guy has everything. He's a total package. I mean, not like Lex Luger. Throws one of the best drop kicks in the business, and of course, Josh Matthews put that over heavily along with the Pope. But it was a really solid match, guys. And there was supposed to be this whole gimmick or something happened. I don't know if they edited it out. The version that I saw, where the referee was censored or something like that. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Please leave a comment here below. I didn't see it. Maybe the UK feed got it or some other place got it. But nothing, didn't see anything edited out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the WrestleZone discussion group over on Facebook. Check it out. Ben Hameen posted something about that. But listen, it was a decent match. But yeah, Jesse Goddess, he hits the springboard. I guess he was trying to go with the AJ Styles type finish, but didn't look too good. Looked more like a flying forearm. But anyway, it wasn't too good. But anyway, it was a 1-2-3. Jesse Goddess looked crisp in the match. Eddie Kingston looked good in the match. I just didn't enjoy the finisher too much. Jesse Goddess is actually extremely gifted in the ring, man. The kid, again, great look, great body. He's gotten so much better in the ring, but not a great finish, so maybe go with something else. Anyway, the Boston Crab Works, fan. The lights go out when after Jesse Goddess gets the 1-2-3 over Eddie Kingston, and the DCC appear. But guess what? Jesse Goddess playing smart. He actually snuck out of the ring, went up the ramp, and the DCC didn't get their hands on him. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I always thank the steady hand of OneWrestling.com, the steady cameraman, the steady hand of OneWrestling.com, the cameraman, the main man, Mr. Carl. Oh, almost gave away your last name, buddy. Sorry about that. But listen, Carl, thank you so much for being here. As late as it is. So anyway, we move on and we go back to the bachelor party, and then it is party time with Braxton Sutter, and a guy offers him drugs. He did. It happened. Anyway, Braxton Sutter wants to leave, but some big fat drunk guy belly flops and actually jumps down from this ladder and lands on top of the drug dealer and kills him. Anyway, the bachelorette party is also not going well, but you know, apparently Sienna just wants to get drunk. That's all she wants to do. Anyway, it is what it is now. But this is we're gonna move on to something that actually was very interesting to me. We had a fact of life, and this was actually by Tyrus, and he calls out Eli Drake, dummy. Yeah. Eli Drake comes out with a sling. And I'm saying, why is Eli Drake coming out with a sling? Well, Eli Drake, well, listen, first and foremost, Tyrus says that he's not happy and calls out Eli Drake. He calls him out. Eli Drake, like I said, comes out with a sling. And, you know, Eli Drake claims that he had received an injury, so he went back to get help. But Eli Drake was kayfabing the whole damn thing. Eli finally speaks, dummy. Yeah. And takes off the sling. The arm is fine, guys. You know, it's all a gimmick. The arm is fine. And Drake basically puts not Drake, the rapper, Eli Drake, puts the blame all on Tyrus for all of this happening, why he walked out. He said basically that Tyrus has been making some very brash decisions, and basically all he's concentrating on is stuffing his face with cheeseburgers into his fat mouth, end quote. Anyway, Eli says that it's Tyrus's job to just stand in the back while he is, Eli Drake, being the headliner, the main man. Well, needless to say, Tyrus was not happy about that. And I almost forgot. Eli Drake said that he owned him. He owned Tyrus, and Tyrus did not like that one bit. Tyrus actually grabbing Eli Drake around the throat and threatening him, and says next week he will show him, and I'm paraphrasing, what's popping. Anyway, we have the Hardys, and the Hardys are there. Listen, they don't want money. They don't want to get paid for this, man. They just want the tag team champions. And finally, they meet the boss. And who is the boss? Former WCW star, former NWO Wolfpack member, well, NWO Black and White member as well, Conan. that's pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool to see Conan back on television, even though I watch AAA sometimes, so I've seen Conan a few times. But Matt goes, Conan, I knew you'd come. Pretty cool, man. It was very cool. Listen, again, Matt Hardy makes it very clear, we're not here for your pesos, you know, money, and hashtag money is for marks. Conan makes a match with Psicosis and Super Crazy for the Mexican Tag Team Championship, and then he tells the guy that brought him back there, listen, do me a favor, make as many bootleg products as you possibly can, because we're gonna bank on this. So that's pretty funny. We go back to the bachelorette party, and it's still not going well. But Laurel Van Ness opens up some sexy gifts, some hot lingerie. God. Anyway, sorry guys, my mind wandered there. And Allie's like, oh, you know, she thinks she's gonna actually be coming out in the wedding. Well, she kind of is. She's going to be the ring bearer. Unbelievable. Maria continues to call Allie stupid, and then stuffs a pink cupcake into the nostrils of Allie. Not nice. We finally get the match, man. We get the Broken Hardys versus Super Crazy and Psicosis for the tag team titles of Mexico. And I thought this was really cool the way they did this, man. They did like a whole split screen gimmick. The fans were going absolutely crazy. And Vanguard 1 was backstage hanging out with some hot chicks. Well, basically, listen, guys, again, it wasn't shot like an entire match. If you guys didn't get the chance to see, go to impactwrestling.com. I think poptv.com has it. You can probably find it on YouTube, Daily Motion, wherever you want to, wherever you watch your TNA Impact Wrestling. But it was just basically a whole match broken into a cinematic, kind of like a cinematic breakdown, and we have music in the background, so on and so forth. It was pretty cool. I like the way they did that. I wish they would have shown the entire match, but they didn't. I guess, you know, they're not gonna have time to do it. But we did get the finish where we had a twist of fate for Matt and a swanton from Jeff Hardy to obtain the Mexican Tag Team titles, and those titles look like they just made them the other day. Those were not the AAA Tag Team titles. Anyway, just putting it out there. Anyway, now it is time for the Hardys to escape with the tag team titles, and Conan does not want them to leave with the belts. You know, he's like, you know, we don't know where they're going to take these belts. They can take these belts over to Guam. They can take these belts to Japan. They can just disappear with the belts. We need those belts, even though it looks like they just made those belts. I made Aiden the belt the other day with cardboard and aluminum foil, and I think I did a better job. But that's just my opinion. And yeah, man, they go and they find Vanguard 1 in the back, and he is gone. They are back in the Dome of Deletion, and Conan is looking for his tequila, and the women and so on and so forth. They are all gone. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy escape, and they are back again in the Dome of Deletion, Cameron, North Carolina, and Matt has a premonition. I can't do that, guys. I mean, it hurts my throat every single week. And yeah, every title they collect, they're gonna put in some magic sacks, so on and so forth. But the next titles they're gonna be going for are the Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championships, and they're gonna go on an indie scene. They're gonna kind of, you know, they're gonna go out and collect, I guess, as many titles as they possibly can. Now we move on to another match. We have Sienna with Maria versus Brooke Tessmacher, or just Brooke now. They just calling her Brooke. Call her whatever she wants. She's hot. Maria starts off the match getting involved, basically giving Sienna the upper hand. It was actually pretty decent. She had the early advantage, but Brooke quickly gets the upper hand. Maria continues to get involved during the entire match, you know, doing her little illegal tactics, so on and so forth. But anyway, guys, Maria spends most of the time during this match on the apron than on the freaking ring floor outside the ring. But finally, Sienna is able to go for the AK-47, but Brooke slips it, and she gets the roll-up pin for the 1, 2, 3. A little sloppy there, but was a decent match, guys. For the females, man, actually was a really, really good match. But and I love Brooke is doing some great work. She's good. I'm so glad she's back. TNA Impact Wrestling. We go back to the bachelor party, and George wants to watch porn. George is one of the guys that was there, older guy. Okay, so the Miracle Mike Bennett actually has a stripper, and apparently it's one of Ben Hameen's wives, Roxy. I wonder what number wife this is. And this young lady had a lot of armpit hair, a very deep voice, and she was smoking a cigarette, and she looked like, do you remember that wrestler back in the day, Bastion Booger? He looked better than her. Anyway, it was just disgusting, to say the least. And Miracle Mike Bennett closes the door and asks George, listen, can you get that pornographic DVD back over here? We're going to watch that. So Eli Drake cuts a promo on Tyrus and threatens Tyrus with a bat and says, this is just a fact of life. Now we move on to a Bobby Lashley segment. Bobby Lashley puts himself over as the 4-time champ and says he is the baddest man on the planet. Bobby Lashley says he is too damn good for the entire roster and doesn't matter whether it's anyone from EC3 to Eddie Edwards, anyone from the world of MMA to the world of professional wrestling. He just can't be beat. Well, the youngest UFC heavyweight champion of all time, Josh Barnett, comes to the ring. And I was quite surprised to see Josh Barnett in the ring. And Josh Barnett looks like he wants to challenge Lashley. Lashley warns Josh that, listen, man, let me explain something to you. Don't let these fans, make you, do something you don't want to do. And listen, this is my world, man. There ain't no rules. Well, look, Lashley is automatically put into an armbar out of nowhere. Bobby Lashley, embarrassed, finally accepts, and guess what, guys? Next week, Josh Barnett will face Bobby Lashley for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. I'm very interested to see how this one will play out. We go back to the bachelor party, and everyone is passed out. Braxton Sutter, well, he's about to leave. Everybody's passed out. Everybody's all knocked out. Some guy's dead. Other guys, I guess, on drugs. You have the ugly Bastion Booger stripper, Ben Hameen's wife, 248, I believe. And before he leaves, what he does is he actually puts the stripper's hand. I thought it was like kind of on the Miracle Mike Bennett's crotch. Takes a picture and sends it to Allie, or calls Allie. It's actually pretty funny. You have to go back and take a look at that. Well, anyway, listen, guys, here we go. This is the main event of the evening. Eddie Edwards versus Davey Richards in a street fight. And Angelina Love actually introduces her husband, but what is it? Of course, it's a sneak attack. He comes out from the crowd, guys. And this match was full of a ton of emotion, guys. Full of a ton of emotion. That didn't sound right. I was speaking like full of a ton of emotion. Anyway, you know what I mean. It was full of a ton of emotion. No, I'm correct. Anyway, there was one point where Eddie Edwards actually missed a chop outside the ring, hitting his hand fully, chopping the hell out of the post, almost breaking his hand. And Davey Richards would attack the hand continuously, actually hitting the hand with a chair. Again, there were no rules. This is a street fight. There's a chair brought into the ring by Eddie Edwards, but then guess what? Angelina Love comes into the ring, and she brings in a chair. Eddie Edwards is distracted, and guess what, guys? Yes, well, Davey Richards hits Eddie Edwards with the chair over the head. We move on. And I just got to tell you guys, it's getting a little disturbing watching Davey Richards making out with Angelina Love. It's just the whole freaking match. It's just disgusting. I mean, I don't mind making out, but I mean, when you see somebody else making out, no matter how hot they are, it's just kind of weird. Anyway, unless you're watching one of those movies that George has provided. Alicia comes into the ring, and this is Eddie Edwards' wife, and apparently Alicia is trained to be a wrestler too. So there you go, Ben. I mean, we spoke about that in Impact Rebellion because I didn't think she was a wrestler. I mean, now she's training. She jumps on the back of Davey Richards, trying to choke him out. But then, of course, Angelina Love stops that right away. She takes a couple of forearms. That being Angelina Love takes a couple of forearms, but then she takes full control, getting one shot, knocking Alicia on her ass. Basically, then Angelina cuffs Alicia to the ropes, and then, well, I think that she's going to destroy Alicia. I thought she was going to hit Alicia with the chair, but no. Eddie Edwards is down on the mat. The chair is placed on the head of Eddie Edwards. And do you know what a concerto is? Well, the song has been played, ladies and gentlemen, because Davey Richards takes the chair and smashes the chair over the head of the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Man, I mean, he just got destroyed with that chair. Davey Richards destroyed Eddie Edwards, and it was really, really, really bad. It looked really horrible, as, of course, if you looked at the thumbnail, his wife, that being Eddie Edwards' wife, screams and looks on, reaching out for her husband, but her husband is done. I mean, they even knock out Earl Hebner. I mean, it was just bad. They just beat the living hell out of them. And listen, this was a good way to end this show. All in all, it was a pretty solid show. They had some pretty funny parts. They had some parts that weren't too funny, kind of corny. But next week is going to be really good because what? Listen, the fallout from this whole gimmick, we're gonna have the Hardys come back, and then of course, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we have the big wedding. Laurel Van Ness and Braxton Sutter will Allie be that one chick that when the I was gonna say the judge or the priest or whoever it may be says, if there's anyone who would like to contest or say that these people should not be married, I have a feeling Allie's gonna have something to say. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure to do this for you guys. I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling, and I talk wrestling at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm here at the office of OneWrestling.com. But listen, guys, again, guys, give us a follow, OneWrestling.com, YouTube, /OneWrestling Video. Go to Twitter, give me a follow at Big Ray Show. Go to Instagram, give me a follow at Big Ray Show. I will follow you back, follow Legendary Bill After. And of course, all of us as a family here at One Wrestling on Twitter and also at Big Slam Nation, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this week for TNA Impact Wrestling review here at OneWrestling.com. Carl, I'm hungry. Go get lunch, buddy. Well, get a coffee, man. Thanks again, guys. See you next week.